మీరు వింటున్నారు 98.3 FM. మనతో ఉన్నారు అవికా గోర్. We also know her as చిన్నారి పెళ్లికూతురు. మా తెలుగు ఆడియన్స్ కి అవిక యువర్ చిన్నారి పెళ్లికూతురు. And Anandi for majority of India.
And not just that, I think after Uyyala Jampala, a lot of kids who watch it on repeat call me Uma Devi.
Uma Devi. Uma Devi. So, Avika, first let's talk about the movie. What is Shanmukha?
Shanmukha is this amazing script which is a thriller, of course. Now that people are watching me in a lot of thrillers and suspense kind of films, I thought why not give them something similar. But at the end of the day, it is a devotional drama as well. It has a lot of action and the climax is extremely different. And for a person like me who is so not used to doing commercial films, this was different because I'm used to just playing the bechari of sorts, but here my hero is fighting and kicking people off. So it was extremely exciting to even be on that set because of course a big budget film obviously has a lot of pros, and to be on that set was extremely exciting. Of course, I missed the whole dancing part because that's not there in the film, but everything else is there.
I've seen the trailer. Can I call you an investigative journalist in that?
Absolutely. And I'm so proud to be called that because all these while, especially after Vadhu and all these characters that I play, people really thought, okay, she's just the girl next door. But no, here comes the investigative, curious girl who is really wanting to understand what's going on and what are these murders or kidnappers trying to do, and there's so much happening and it's very exciting.
The trailer looks very intense.
Thank you.
And I love the fringe cut on you. It really suits you.
Really?
It's the first time I'm like, hey, wait. Because the younger look doesn't have the fringe.
Exactly.
The journalist look has the fringe with that bun, and I'm like, damn, that looks so cute.
And I have, if you notice, I'm not sure if many people did, but I've kind of looked very skinny with that.
Yes.
And that was a conscious choice to be like that in the present sequence, and then of course a little healthier in the post.
Yeah, when you're younger.
Past, yeah. So very consciously I tried to do that, but I'm not sure if people will notice it because it just comes and goes, right? But little few efforts that actors make, and I think if you like that hairstyle, I think that was also a big decision to make as an actor because not everything suits you, not everything would work, and especially after looking skinny and having those lenses in my eye, I was not sure about the hair, but the director was pretty sure about it, and he was confident that okay, we should try this, it is different, and I was like, okay, whatever you want.
He was confident and I think he was right because you look adorable. It's a very serious character, but you look adorable. I'm just like, how is that possible? So how is it prepping for Shanmukha and working with Mr. Adi Sai Kumar?
Adi is one of the most amazing co-actors I have worked with, honestly. He's super fun to work with. He's absolutely shy and silent and all of those things. But within 2 days with me, who talks all the time, you kind of tend to open up. That's what happened with Adi. I think we did not just bond over the shoot and the work ethics we have, but we also enjoyed talking about cricket a lot. He loves cricket. And I recently started to build liking towards cricket, and I also go and become his cheerleader whenever he plays for CCL. So we have that bond as well. But other than that, I think my prep for this film was more to do with understanding what the whole idea or the screenplay of a thriller movie looks like. I really wanted to understand what would engage people to even go to the theaters and watch, because all the thrillers that I have worked on or all the horrors that I have worked on were on OTTs. Yes. And my audience has understood that, okay, this is the kind of script that I would choose as an actor. My reputation is such that I get to perform, I get to act, I'm not just dancing around the trees. So people look at me in a certain way. But to have that in the theater and what will work was my research and what was my prep. And as an actor, definitely people think that it's all about the vanity and it's all about how you carry yourself and all of that. But no, it is a lot of background homework and research of what will work and what won't. So yeah, with a lot of homework, we are finally here and coming close to the release date.
March 21st.
Yes, it is.
So yeah, like you said, a lot of people assume acting is hard, yeah, especially women actors. We not me. Look at me. No, like women actresses in general are kuch nahi unka hai. They'll come to the set, ready avtaru, dance chesi hellipotaru madam. I'm like, hey, I don't think that's about it, right? What do you think? How is the industry now for women?
So when I started off, I was 8 years old.
Yes.
So for me, it was always about going back to home, studying, giving my exams, coming back to shoots, and my life has been very different. But at the same time, I have seen what you're talking about. I have seen how actresses are generally, compared to the heroes or the actors of the film, not treated well. And it is a fact, to be honest. It is a fact. And unfortunately, it still exists in a certain way because the fees
Because
that we
of all the
receive
reasons,
is,
yeah.
of course, not the same. But otherwise, I think there's a lot of shift that has already happened in the industry. The scripts, I think we have had so many female-centric female characters and such strong roles by all the heroines recently. I think that is like setting a very big example because these girls, these faces can pull audiences off to the theaters. I think that's a big deal. And now that that step has been taken over, we are ready to kind of rule the industry.
Yes, you go, girl. So, Avika, you've been working in this industry, like you mentioned, since you were 8.
Yeah.
And now, how I wouldn't say you had a normal journey or I don't want to say you didn't have a normal childhood, but you definitely didn't have a conventional childhood.
Yeah.
How did it work? What were your teachers thinking? What were your friends thinking?
I think
And when did your friends realize, man, this girl sitting next to me is actually a star? I didn't know till today.
I think that happened very early in my life. After the first few episodes of the Chinnari Pellikuthuru or Balika Vadhu,
Balika
whatever
Vadhu.
you want to call it, whenever that kind of came on air, within the first few days, my life changed. And I'm very well aware of the fact that people would kill or die to live a life that I live because these many years of being relevant and being somebody who is kind of like your own family member, it eventually makes you feel like the most important person in the world, right? But at the end of the day, I'm very grateful to my friends and my parents and my family that they kept me grounded. Because that's very important. That reality check is absolutely important. And I think my journey, like you said, it's not conventional. It is not even now. I mean, every other actress that I meet of my age, I can't relate to them because my
because-
understanding or my maturity is way beyond. I mean, there are so many script writers who come up to me with a script and they end up taking names and they tell me that these people won't even understand what we've written. And I think that's a big plus.
That is a big plus. And guys, I can clearly see she's in an absolute zen aura that, hey, I been there, done that.
That's just a cover up.
I will just... Yeah, but such great cover up that I can't even judge it. Like, it's unconventional, dude. And
Thanks.
okay, now, of course, we all know you're a brilliant actor. But when you're not on set, what is that one hobby that has nothing to do with your acting?
Ooh, I love sleeping.
Me too.
I love the idea of doing nothing. I just love it. Like just sitting on my couch, just looking in the wall. I mean, just thinking of nothing.
Nothing.
I think that's my favorite part. But on a serious note, I enjoy dancing. I really take out time from whatever schedule I have. I make sure that at least once or twice a week, I'm just, turning off my lights in my room, just dancing for a few hours and letting all my emotions out. If I want to cry, I cry. If I want to laugh, I laugh. I celebrate.
Amazing. I'm a big believer of nothingness.
Really?
If I go to a holiday, I don't do anything. That's a holiday.
Wow.
Because people are like, ye karenge, ye dekhenge, and then we'll watch it. I'm like, no. I just want to sleep in that
I like
Airbnb.
it. I really like
Yeah.
that idea. It's
Maybe
amazing.
one day go, like, do that viewpoint and come back. But
I'm also a big foodie. So for me, when I'm not shooting or when I don't have kind of like a target set of, a song coming or something,
correct.
I really go all out. Like I would eat like puri and and aloo and I would just eat a lot of junk.
Pani puri or pav bhaji?
Pani puri.
Pani puri. I can't compromise on that
Pani
either.
puri is...
It's life. It's
It's
just
life. It's life.
You can't go wrong with Pani Puri.
You can.
Unless that guy messes up.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, Pani Puri it's just like, I can eat that every day of my life.
Chana wala ya aloo wala?
Aloo wala. I'm from Mumbai.
Yes.
I mean, I have to have aloo wala.
I'm a Hyderabadi. Hyderabadis will hate me for this, but I'm an aloo girl. Hyderabadis are more hot chana.
Yeah.
That puri will become soggy. I'm like, there's no fun in this. So, I mean, again, I'll have to come back to Balika Vadhu being it's such a timid girl,
Mhm.
shy, very old school, child marriage.
Mhm.
Were you ever worried, after a certain age, definitely not when you were young, were you ever worried that you'll be boxed into, typecasted would be?
Absolutely. Even now, there are a lot of people who come up to me asking me the same question, that why are you kind of doing not same but similar characters? And I say that I think, very lucky to get that name of Anandi, or that tag of Anandi, and I don't want to let go of that. I mean, I'm very proud of the fact that I'm considered to be somebody who belongs to the audience, or is a family member. And I still meet so many people randomly on the road. They would just come up to me and start pulling my cheeks. And it's that love that we really work hard for. And if I've got that already, why do I need to work hard?
That's so much clarity. It took me a minute to think about my next question. So, because you've been here since you were 8, do you ever feel like, okay, I've done my acting bit. Are you interested in directing, producing?
Of course.
Yes.
That is the reason I started my own production 2 years
Yes.
back. But I think acting is definitely my love. The idea of having that one thing in your life that you really want to do till the day you die. But dancing does take over. I think that's my first love and that's my passion. So anything to do with dancing, when it comes to my mind, I think that has a priority of sorts. But after being in this industry for so long, I've realized that anything to do with anything that is about cinema is what I enjoy. I've also learned, done some courses for FCP, which is the post-production part, and I love learning new things. I've also done a screenplay writing course from New York Film Academy. So, like I said, everything behind the camera for cinema, I'm all in.
So anything for cinema.
Anything.
You don't mind if it's behind the camera, in front of the
Absolutely.
camera.
I just love the idea of being on a set and doing whatever it takes. I remember there was this phase in my life where my parents kind of told me that now you're a grown up. And it was after my 12th. They said, now you're a grown up. Now you take your time and understand if you really want to do this, because we were the ones who chose this for you. But now you take your time. And I remember I went back crying. I said, I only want to act. And I think that is my calling.
Your parents chose very well.
Absolutely.
They gave us a celebrity, a star,
So sweet.
an Anandi, a Chinnari Pellikuthuru, an Uma Devi.
I'm glad.
So, because you're so much into this 24 crafts that
Mhm.
exist, let's say a director gives you a free hand,
Mhm.
saying, Avika, you can write your character however you please.
Mhm.
Actually, you bring the script to me. What would be your ideal script? Like a small story, if you were to.
So, I have loved a few films. I would just give those as an example for people to understand. There is this film called Sridevi's Sadma that really
Sadma,
touched-
Sridevi's movie. Yes,
that
yes,
touched
yes.
my heart. That is one film that I believe that is really ahead of its time.
It was.
And people would really, even if it releases now, like how re-releases happen and people love it, I think it would really work. So that is one kind of film that I would want to write and maybe make. Then there is this film called Uyyala Jampala. I think that particular script worked because it was simple.
It was simple, it was tender.
Absolutely. And the characters, the moods, the everything about that film was just simple. And that simplicity is what I would want to have in a film that I would make one day. And then there is, of course, a film called Life is Beautiful. It's an Italian film and it's extremely emotional and I end up crying every time I talk about it. So, yeah, these are the kind of films I like.
Awesome. Sadma is my personal favorite too, because
Really?
in the end, when she leaves with her parents and Kamal Hassan flips
Ouch.
the table, I'm like, why didn't the parents ask once where she
Ouch.
stayed? I'm like, why
Ouch.
couldn't you just find that one thing out?
Really?
That scene
What a
just
film.
broke
What a
me
film.
on the inside, because I'm like,
these are some of the films that I really take inspiration from, and I will definitely end up having. If you see a lot of my films, they are kind of inspired by a lot of characters that we already watch, and I definitely feel there's no shyness to admit that, but taking inspiration from characters and actors that have worked before and that have done some amazing job, it's a plus for us, today, in this day and age when there is social media and every second person becomes really popular and happening suddenly. I think it is, as actors, our job to take the learning from whatever we have done and whatever we have seen before and just imbibe that in whatever we do now.